Now we're going to talk about saving files. But before I forget, usually when you manipulate files, after you're done, you want to close your file. So in the previous video when we were reading files, I forgot to actually write this line here, closing the scanner. It's not absolutely necessary for scanners, but it's a good practice to close the files, because if the program gets interrupted someplace, it might be the case that your contents will not be read still. Okay? But always try to close your we call this streams, your pointer to the file, your stream, your reading stream, or when you save a file. Let's talk about writing files. For writing a file, you need to import. You can import many things. There are many ways to write a file, as well as there are many ways to read a file. These are simple ways I think might help. You can import the Java I/O file writer, and then here we can have two exceptions: the file not found exception, because we're trying to write to a file that's not there, or the I/O exception, so it couldn't get written. For example, the disk is protected, or the USB stick is not there anymore, something like that. So if you're trying to write to a USB stick. So we want to import these exceptions. And the way you write is very simple. There's a public class record, public static void main. Now you create a file writer. I'm going to call it out. It's a new file writer, and then the name of the file that you want to write. So for example, I want to write a file called personalinfo.txt. Okay? And then what I will do is I can write whatever I want. So my name, comma, my last name, comma, my phone. I don't know, I would just want to write anything. And then I will close the string. Because I'm trying to write to a file, I have to surround this with a try and catch, with a try and then catch exception. I'll try to catch the first exception. File not found exception E. If I have a file not found exception, I'm just going to do e.print stack trace. I'll just print the exception. And then another thing that works with exceptions, this is not on the exceptions video, the introduction to exceptions, but is you can catch many exceptions. So if file not found was not the exception, then I'm going to try to catch an I/O exception. EX, and I will print the stack trace of that. Oops. Print stack trace. So here I have caught both exceptions, and I will try to open a file for writing, write to it, and then close it. Always close it. These guys you do have to close, because it might be that if the program ends and you do not close it, the contents won't be written yet, because writing to files doesn't happen as soon as you code the line. It happens internally when it can. So close ensures that your contents will be written. So we compile this, and then I run it, and this file personalinfo.txt should be written. So let's reload the contents here, and here's my personal info file. If we open it, we'll see that it contains my name, my last name, my phone, which is exactly what I told it to record here, right? So if you want to write in different lines, you can always write it like this, like that. Say my last name, my phone. Basically, you write strings as if you were writing to the screen, right? Then we run this, and we go to personalinfo.txt. It has changed, so usually this will zero refresh here. Now let's close it and reopen it, and you'll see the contents there. Now it's on different lines. My name, my last name, my phone. Just like I had done it here, right? So in different lines. Ignore the contents of the other files. Lastly, you can write anything you want to a file. Now, whenever you do this, okay, what you're doing is you will overwrite personalinfo.txt. If you want to append to it, the method here would be, instead of out.write, would be out.append. And there are other ways in which you can open the file for appending, but this is the basics of writing a file.